Hi, my name's Karen Rigby, and I'd like to this evening just chat to you quickly about a policy that I've come across and had never really thought of, didn't realise that one of these existed, and tell you a bit about how I came across this policy. I work for another company, and quite often I'm sent out to track down missing clients for various reasons. And this time, it was about a month ago, I was sent out to track down this gentleman who had been awarded money. I knocked on the door and this lady answered the door, and I had presumed he'd obviously moved away and just not notified us. And I said, I don't suppose you've got a forwarding address for this gentleman, we're looking for him. And she said, yeah, you better come in, it's my son. So I went in, and her husband was there, and they were both elderly. And she said to me, that's my son, yeah, sadly he passed away in April. No warning, no nothing. He was fighting fit. He lived with us. He was helping his dad in the garden, and suddenly they heard a thud and he had keeled over. He had no health issues, nothing like that. It was a total surprise. I phoned the office and they agreed that under the circumstances the money would still be paid out to the deceased. But it made me think though about how we just don't think about what's happening. And she did say to me, she said, you know, this has left us in an absolutely dire mess. We've been left with my son's debts. We had to borrow money for the funeral because we're all elderly, we have a state pension, we don't have any savings whatsoever. And I said, did your son not have any sort of life insurance or policy or anything like that? And she said, no, it was something he always said he was going to do. He was going to do it, but he was fighting fit and he thought he had years left. Now, how many of us think that as well? How many of us think, oh, I'll take that policy out later, I don't need it just now? And you know, that's when it happens. That's when the worst thing happens. And as Benjamin Franklin said, there are only two things certain in life, and that's death and taxes. So it may be a morbid subject. I've always found it a morbid subject. My family will tell you, or tell anybody, you know, mention anybody dying and I would burst out crying. And the thought of myself dying, which obviously is going to happen, that would just absolutely, I'd be beside myself. I just couldn't bear the thought of it. So I've now taken out this policy. Now I know that my finances aren't squeaky clean at the moment. I'm working on it. But I know that if or when the day comes that I'm not going to leave either my husband or my kids to find the money or put the money for my funeral. And my God, I want a fantastic funeral, I'm telling you. And knowing my kids, they'd probably put me in a composting bin if they could. So I know that I'm leaving behind a lump sum. Doesn't cost me a massive amount every month, but I'm leaving behind a lump sum that's going to pay for my funeral, pay for the party afterwards, which is the most important thing, but also to give my husband and my kids the time, you know, to cover salaries if they don't feel, you know, if they do happen to grieve for me, that they've got that sort of space there, buffer space, that they don't have to rush back to work. They've got the time to do what they want, as I say, but most importantly, I'll have the funeral that I want. So, and what I was going to say is, well, you know, I've relayed this conversation to several people, and it shocked me. It genuinely has shocked me what people have said. You know, some people I know have said, I don't really care, I'll be gone. And I've said, but how do you expect? Now I know these people that I've spoken to don't have huge amounts of money in the bank. And I've said, so what about your family? And I don't care, I won't be around. Is that what you want to do? Is that how the sort of legacy that you want to leave behind? I know, sure as damn it, I wasn't going to, as I say, the minute I heard what had happened, and I just thought, you know, what do you do? How can I make sure that my family will have the money, won't have to stress about it, won't have to go to any sort of, you know, put it on credit cards and all the rest of it, and I will get the sending that I want, the send off that I want. Anyway, thank you very much, and it was lovely speaking to you. Enjoy the rest of the evening, and I'll speak to you later. Thank you very much. Bye.